Domestic violence is an important yet difficult topic to address. Tom Manion, director of the Montgomery County Family Justice Center, joins me for this discussion. That's next on Wellbeing Matters. Hello, MCPS colleagues. We're here today to talk about domestic violence, what it is, and how to get help. Tom, thank you for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me, Robin.
What is domestic violence?
It's really a much broader term that can have a lot of different subsets. So domestic violence in general is any type of violent or abusive behavior that happens within a family or within a household. The specific type of domestic violence that I specialize in serving victims of is intimate partner violence. And so that is abusive behavior between two people who are in an intimate relationship, either currently or previously. Maybe they have children in common, or perhaps they've just had a sexual encounter. Now, domestic violence can really manifest itself in a lot of different ways. When we think of crime shows on TV, we think that it really only refers to physical abuse or sexual assault. And the reality is that it can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. Power, manipulation, and control are the three things that are really at the core of abusive behavior.
And Tom, who can experience domestic violence?
Anyone who is either part of a family unit or who is in an intimate relationship. Really, domestic violence does not discriminate. So no matter what age you are, or what race or religion or ethnicity or where you come from, or what language you speak, or how much money you have, this type of abuse can affect anyone.
So there's been a sharp increase in domestic violence since the beginning of the pandemics. How do you explain this?
When the pandemic began, and particularly when those associated lockdown orders began, it sort of created this, I call it a perfect storm of terror for victims of intimate partner violence. Because what was happening was we were all being instructed to stay at home, and we were being instructed to communicate with each other, not in person, but through technology. And those are the two most dangerous ways for victims of abuse to communicate. So when they're stuck at home with an abusive partner or with someone in the home who abuses them, and the only connection they have to the outside world is very likely and very often compromised by that abuser. Not to mention the fact that along with all of the lockdown orders, we have all of these additional stressors with people losing their jobs, people's finances being in trouble. So when you add all those stressors in with the fact that you're trapped in your home and you can't escape and you can't access your support system, it just creates this perfect storm of terror for people who are being abused.
Very, very tough. So what are the supports and the resources available to targets of domestic violence?
I always like to say that Montgomery County, and maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think Montgomery County addresses this issue the right way. And that's in a very collaborative way. So the primary resource center for victims of domestic violence in the county is the Family Justice Center. This is a co-location of not only government agencies, but nonprofits as well. And we all work together to provide collaborative assistance and collaborative coordinated interventions to not only keep victims safe, to also keep their children safe and to hold the offenders accountable.
And my understanding is that you are seeing some people in person right now during the pandemic. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So throughout the entirety of the public health crisis, we have not shut down. We've stayed fully operational throughout the entire pandemic. We still have walk-in hours from Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, which is our normal operating hours. People can still come in and receive the exact same services that they would if, prior to the pandemic. Additionally, if people are more comfortable accessing us remotely, we can offer the full range of services remotely as well. We also have a lot of protocols in place for social distancing. Everyone's wearing masks when they're here. High touch areas are being disinfected constantly. So we're doing what we need to do to make sure that we are still accessible for those who need us while still being a safe place to be in the middle of a pandemic.
Excellent to know. How can we support a friend, colleague, or a family member that may be experiencing domestic violence?
Well, this is the tricky part, right? A lot of people don't realize how pervasive intimate partner violence is. So especially, when we talk about kids who are experiencing, a lot of times experiencing dating abuse, the statistics tell us that 1 in 3 teens has experienced abuse at the hands of a dating partner. And when we think about the fact that a lot of parents don't even think their kids are dating, let alone that 1 in 3 are experiencing abuse at the hands of that partner. And so it's really hard, whether it's your child or someone you're working with, or whether it's a friend or a family member or a neighbor, it's hard to know what to do. The most important thing is to make sure that they know that you are supportive of them, that you are there for them, and that you're going to do whatever you need to do to help them stay safe. The one thing you never want to do is be judgmental or tell them that they're making a mistake, or that, a lot of people can get into this kind of victim blaming mode where they're saying, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep going back when you're being treated this way? Not realizing that going back to the relationship is a symptom of the abuse and a symptom of that cycle. It's not the cause of the abuse.
Thank you, Tom. If you're experiencing domestic violence or any other difficulty, please know the Employee Assistance Program is here to support you. We offer no-cost professional counseling for you and for your immediate family members. Thank you for joining us for this important episode of Wellbeing Matters, and be well, everyone.